November 16th, 2022, morning session of the Portland City Council. Welcome to those of you who are here
Recording
today.
in progress.
Good morning, Keelan. Please call the roll.
Good morning. Maps. Rubio.
Aye. Right
Ryan.
here.
Here.
Hardesty.
Here.
Wheeler.
Both aye and here. We'll now hear from legal counsel on the rules of order and decorum. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Portland City Council. City Council is holding hybrid meetings with in-person attendance in addition to electronic attendance. If you wish to testify before council in person or virtually, you must sign up in advance by visiting the council agenda on the council clerk's webpage at www.portland.gov/council/agenda. You may sign up for communications to briefly speak about any subject. You may also sign up for public testimony on resolutions, reports, or the first readings of ordinances. Written testimony may be submitted to cctestimony@portlandoregon.gov. Your testimony should address the matter being considered at the time. When testifying, please state your name for the record. Your address is not necessary. Please disclose if you are a lobbyist, and if you are representing an organization, please identify it. For testifiers joining virtually, please unmute yourself once the council clerk calls your name. The presiding officer preserves order and decorum during city council meetings so everyone can feel welcome, comfortable, respected, and safe. The presiding officer determines the length of testimony. Individuals generally have 3 minutes to testify unless otherwise stated. A timer will indicate when your time is done. Disruptive conduct such as shouting, refusing to conclude your testimony when your time is up, or interrupting others' testimony or council deliberations will not be allowed. If there are disruptions, a warning will be given that further disruption may result in the person being ejected for the remainder of the meeting. After being ejected, a person who fails to leave the meeting is subject to arrest for trespass. Additionally, council may take a short recess and reconvene virtually.
Great, thank you. First up is communications. First item on the communications agenda is 952. Our first individual, welcome.
Request Peter Zoltansky to address council regarding Carpenter position with Portland Parks and Recreation. Oh, here.
Come on up. Good morning, Peter. If you could state your name for the record, please.
Sure. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Peter Zoltansky, and just want to say hello, council members, mayor. I'm a Southeast Portland resident, and my purpose for providing testimony is to offer understanding about the position as a carpenter for City of Portland Parks and Recreation. Our work is a blend of construction and maintenance carpentry. Projects include renovating the restroom buildings just a block away from City Hall at Chapman and Lonsdale Squares, to the buildings at 8th and Burnside food cart location. Currently, we're preparing bench pad locations at Laurelhurst and Oak Street project. Our job duties include natural area bridge timber restoration, maintaining walk surfaces, benches, structures, and concrete for downtown locations such as Director Park, Pioneer Courthouse Square, Waterfront Park, North and South Park blocks. We respond to vandalism, building break-ins for all park structures, programs including golf courses, sports fields, stadiums, lunch program facilities, warming shelters, cooling shelter conversions at the community centers. We also service community centers, East Portland, Montevilla, St. John's, Southwest, Multnomah Arts Center, Charles Jordan's Community Center, outdoor pool locations, responsible for roofs, doors, windows, lock, latch hardware. We've been removing barriers in facilities and locations to allow people with mobility and site access issues to enjoy. Let's see. Recently, we installed a concrete bus stop location at Washington Park Archery Range so that people with mobility issues can access that. And so, you know, we're in contract negotiations, and currently our position is the lowest wage public or private represented carpenter position on the West Coast by a factor of 25%. So I just wanted to bring that up and have people keep that, be mindful of that when the negotiations are proceeding. In addition, I do ask that you carefully review and understand the wage requests for all the work groups represented by Portland City Laborers 483. The wage adjustments are equitable, fair, and comparable to our counterparts in other communities. And thanks for your thoughtful consideration. And I was recently repaired some break-in issues at Lentz Park, and so in my 20-year career as a carpenter, I had the most, positive comments about people coming out and thanking the service providers, the frontline workers, for showing up every day and delivering services. And it was actually really nice, so that's it.
Hey, Peter, thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thank
your
you.
good work, and if you can pass it
sure.
along to your colleagues, too. There's been
It's-
more than your fair share of work.
Oh, thanks. Well, it's a lot of
late,
ground to
and-
cover.
And the work that I do see is fantastic, and I really appreciate it. We're lucky to have you.
Thanks. Well, I feel fortunate. I never considered, when I started, I didn't realize it was public service. I thought, oh, it's carpentry, but it's actually, it's pretty fun to
funny
be in
how
public
that works,
service.
right?
Yeah, so,
Thanks.
All right.
Yes,
Thank you.
Again,
Appreciate
we
it.
really
Thank you.
appreciate your work. Thank you.
thank you.
Next individual, please, Keelan, 953.
Request of Angela Todd to address council regarding public safety.
Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Angela Todd. I'm with PDX Real. I run a social media page where I discuss Portland livability. I wanted to talk today about something that's difficult for me. I see as neglect of citizen safety in this city. I know that each of you are people, and so I'm going to assume the best in you. The city often speaks about compassion for those less fortunate, but often lost in this discussion is those of us who live in poor and modest working-class neighborhoods, who are being preyed upon by what is allowed to assist, to persist, and grow in this city. We all know there's a larger issue at hand, but today I want to be specific. Sunday, I met with neighbors who live and work around 50th and Powell. These working families fear retaliation. The encampment site is not accurately described as a homeless camp. It is better described as open drug sale market and organized crime ring. Here are some of the details and stories. One 60-year-old resident in the city of Portland has been physically attacked 3 times in the last few months. His niece was threatened in his driveway with a pointed gun while a man attempted to steal gas. The U-Haul business, located at 49th and Powell, the busiest in the city, is experiencing nightly crime. They have their gas siphoned, and people are breaking into the trucks nightly. There's drugs, human feces, drug paraphernalia. Employees are cleaning this up daily. They've lost their monthly bonuses. It's been a hardship. U-Haul has hired private security. They go 3 times a night. The individuals know the security vehicle. They lay low while they're there. 4 months ago, a security guard was shot at. A few days ago, one neighbor in his home was threatened with retaliatory arson after speaking directly with the growing encampment without reaction from the city. The neighbor described being followed, jumping several fences, and crawling in his back door so they didn't know where he lived. They live right in front of his home, by the way. Yesterday, a U-Haul employee there went to lunch. His one wheel, his only mode of transportation, was stolen, a $1,400 vehicle. Yesterday, I also just want to note that this camp surrounds 2 bus stops, including where the kids go to school, and it's blocking access to TriMet, wheelchair access, people who might have issues getting through. As is often requested, the neighbors have been reporting this camp to PDX Reporter. I follow council meetings closely, also your press conferences. Criteria of acute camp removal have been met here. Multiple reports, violence, rampant theft, and the camp is in close proximity to 2 schools. Your contractor, $4.8 million with Rapid Response, is telling people that they can camp when they clean up these encampments within 2 blocks. This isn't sustainable. These neighbors are frankly under siege, and this feels like negligence. You've proposed sanctioned camping in the city of Portland, taking 18 months for rollout. We don't have time for that here. We don't know where the camps will be located or how you plan to provide security for these areas. And I'm imploring you today, I'm here to implore you today, to give these matters your full, immediate attention. Our safety is at risk here.
Angela, thank you for being here today, and I've made a notation 50th and Powell, and I will find out what the status of 50th and Powell is with our impact reduction team. I honestly don't know on the fly, but I will check on that.
Thank you.
Number 2, With regard to the urgency that you mentioned and the resolutions that we've passed as a council, I can tell you that we are working at a very rapid pace to locate those sanctioned camps and begin this process. And I'll have news on that in the not distant future. We're working at a very quick pace, and I think you'll be pleased with the pace at which we're actually working.
Thank you, Mayor.
But I hear your frustration, and I take the safety of the community very seriously. And yes, we do talk about homelessness as a humanitarian crisis, but we also have to acknowledge that it's creating trauma for others in the community as well.
And
as
I
you
think
just
that it's
described.
important to separate what is homelessness and what is drug sales and organized crime.
That is a blanket term for a lot of
Yeah,
different
yeah.
conditions, no question about it. It's a complex issue, but I just want you to know it's not falling on deaf ears, what you're saying here this morning.
Okay.
And I appreciate you.
Thank
being
you.
here. Thank you. Next individual, please, 954.
Request of Maureen Hartung to address council regarding blocked pedestrian right-of-way.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. And if you could just state your name for the record, we'd sure appreciate it.
Good morning. My name is Maureen Hartung, and I'm here today to talk about, or actually just address the ADA compliance with pedestrian right-of-way blockage. And I have been directly, it's impacted my life greatly. The blocks, sidewalks and such, that I haven't been able to reroute. I'm legally blind, and I work at 2 local hospitals, now 3. Getting to work in the morning and in the evening has been very precarious. If it's by TriMet bus and then a connecting bus, and both connecting buses have led me totally into Portland, either way, either if I'm on the east side or the west side, it's blocks of tents and people, and it's completely where I cannot walk through. I'm usually walking in the street, not on the sidewalks, which is a danger in itself. And I'm tried to do other ways to get around it, and right now it's become just pretty much impossible. And that's on a professional level. On a personal level, just accessing parks, our beautiful waterways with my grandchildren, I'm not able to really navigate that as well. So living independently with a disability, my world has gotten smaller and smaller. So have so many others that are in my people group. So I know that this is just at a crisis level too, on so many levels here. I just felt it was a need for me to come forward and advocate for myself and others who aren't able to. Getting here today was just equally as difficult, traveling in the ways that I need to by foot, by MAX, by public bus. All those things have become, just dangerous. It's a risk anymore that I'm not able to do. So I've had to actually change my professional direction to a safer place, which has been very hard. So I just plead with you on a personal, being a Portlander all my life. So that I thought it was time to say something, and that's why I'm here today.
Thank you. It's Maureen.
Maureen.
Maureen, thank you. Thank you for being here and highlighting what's obviously a very important and I think not prioritized highly enough issue in our community. We have heard, when we were passing our resolutions, we heard a number of comments from a large number of people who live with disabilities in our community. You're not alone, and I assure you we have heard the message. It's a really important one, and I want to thank you for all the work you do in the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And thank you for making the effort to be here today.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet. Next individual, please, Keelan, item 955.
Request of Jeff Cato to address council regarding blocked pedestrian right-of-way.
Good morning, Jeff. It's good to have you here. Thank you. And once seated, if you could just state your name for the record, please.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor and everyone. Thank you. My name is Jeff Cato, and I am here to discuss the ADA and the public right-of-way. I'm a resident of the city of Portland. I'm a professional, work for Providence Health in Northeast Portland. For the past 36 years, I have navigated the city of Portland, both as a pedestrian on foot and via public transit with the bus and the Maxes. Over the past 2.5 years, that daily activity has become a very risky and very dangerous endeavor. I have encountered countless situations where I will walk to a bus stop or the path to a Max platform in the morning, only to follow the same route in the evening to come across a tent that was not there in the morning. Sometimes the people in the tents are not necessarily understanding that someone that cannot see, I should have mentioned I'm totally blind. Someone that cannot see has just run into their tent. Sometimes they react with great anger, and there very often isn't a path around the tent without walking out into a busy street, so you have to gauge, okay, is there enough gap between the cars for me to quickly try to go around and assume that there's only one tent here? So it's a very dangerous situation, and you know, it affects quality of life and really, frankly, mental health when I have to get up every morning and think, God, is this going to be the day? Am I going to make it through? You know, the Americans with Disabilities Act provides that all citizens have access to the public right-of-way. I call on all of you, our elected officials, to ensure that public right-of-way. I'm not sure that $27 million is enough. I'm not here today to vilify anyone who is homeless and is looking for a better life. We need to invest our resources in helping people who really want to get off the streets and provide access to the public right-of-way for everyone, which of course includes the sidewalks. I don't believe we have 18 months. I call on this body to take immediate action to find a path, a dignified path for people who want to get off the streets and to provide access for everybody so that we can truly be the city that we say we are, who values diversity, equity, and inclusion for everybody. I thank you for your time, and I implore you to take action. I yield. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate your being here.
Mayor, I just wanted to thank both.
Commissioner Ryan, yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to
Go ahead.
thank both Jeff and Maureen for having the courage to come before us and speak today and speak your truth. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I believe our last communication slot this morning, 956, our last individual, please.
Request of Alan Comness to address council regarding unsanctioned camping in public right-of-way.
Good morning, Alan. Is Alan virtual this morning?
So I believe TJ Browning was going to speak in Alan's place.
Is TJ here?
No, and they're not online.
Okay, very good. To the consent agenda, if any items been pulled off the consent agenda?
3 items have been pulled. Items 963,
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
963,
963, okay, thank you.
964,
964
and 966.
and 966. Please call the roll on the remainder of the consent agenda.
Maps,
Aye.
Rubio,
Aye.
Ryan,
Aye.
Hardesty,
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye. The consent agenda is adopted. We'll go to the first time certain item, please. Item number 957.
Approve the Cully Tax Increment Finance District Plan.
Good morning, everyone. Again, it's a pleasure to be back to discuss the proposed tax increment finance district in the Cully neighborhood. As a reminder, this proposal resulted from several years of exploration work co-led by community partners, Prosper Portland, and the Portland Housing Bureau. In September, Council received an overview of that community-led process and asked questions about how this tool might be used to achieve the community's goals. Last week, we had a presentation by staff at Prosper Portland and the Portland Housing Bureau and community partners on the proposed ordinance. Heard what I thought was some very thoughtful testimony from invited guests, as well as several members of the public at large, and we had the opportunity for council to ask questions and have a discussion at that time as well. As we heard from staff last week, this new district would direct over $300 million of public resources to the Cully neighborhood over the course of the next 3 decades. In just the next 10 years alone, that funding could create 160 affordable family-sized homes in Cully, was part of the presentation we heard. These funds could also be used to offer repair grants and other resources to stabilize housing for current residents. They could be used to provide grants for small business and nonprofits in Cully to do interior renovations, as well as to provide loans for larger community-supported projects like the Mercado. This ordinance is a map and it is a framework, 2 critical components as we chart a path forward together on this project. Colleagues, were there any further questions or discussion before we call a vote on this item? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
I want to again thank our community and nonprofit leaders for their excellent presentation last week, as well as the Prosper staff. I'm very excited to see what happens from this. I vote aye.
Ryan.
Yes. Well, thank you for bringing this up to the dais. And actually, I'm going to say a few things. I just want to say that Director Branham and Interim Director Rogers, I want to start with you for carrying this on the city side of the street. It's an exciting project, and it really doubles down on the city and community's collective, and I do mean the word collective, investment in the Cully neighborhood in Northeast Portland. Prosper Portland has an effort across city bureaus and the community to take a fresh approach to TIF districts, and this requires deep, and I do mean deep, community involvement to ensure implementation. This is a shared responsibility. And what I've witnessed over the last couple of years when I've been in conversations about this is it's a very elegant demonstration of this reformed TIF rollout. Let me give you an example of the importance of continued community involvement and engagement. On Monday, I was there with Interim Director Rogers as we broke ground on a new project on North Interstate from the North-Northeast Housing Strategy. I would say if it wasn't for that group staying together, this milestone would not have taken place. As a housing commissioner for almost 2 years, I can tell you the North-Northeast Housing Strategy Committee made themselves known soon upon that appointment. And that is why I believe that work continues to foster. The Cully TIF district represents a 30-year vision for the future of this neighborhood, and the Housing Bureau has been an innovative partner on this project, working across silos to mitigate gentrification and displacement and utilizing bond measure funding to create 191 new homes that will be permanently affordable to low-income households ranging from studios and to family-sized 3-bedroom apartments. Keeping longtime Portlanders in their neighborhoods they love is a top priority of this work. It'll take commitment across neighborhood and from businesses in this area to see this project through. As you all know, these positions change in the next 10 years, but the community must stay together to hold and to keep all of us in partnership. We have to be in this together. So it's a shared responsibility. This is, I think, a legacy project. I want to acknowledge Living Cully, Habitat for Humanity, Home Forward, Community Development Partners, NAYA, Hacienda. I know I'm forgetting some partners right now. You do that thing where you start reading a list, and I'll get some emails who I forgot. My point is, it was quite a community effort, and it was actually very gratifying to be in the meetings with all of you and hear about all that you've went through to get to this point in time. So keep it up, don't let up. You're just getting started. This is basically us signing a contract between the city and all of you to work together to see this through. So we're in this together. It's a legacy project. I'm proud to vote aye.
Hardesty.
Thank you, and thank you, Prosper Portland, for moving this forward. I will say that I continue to be a bit skeptical, knowing the outcomes that we've received so far from from economic development in this community. But some of the groups you forgot, like Verde and Hacienda CDC, the Cully, the Cully Association of Neighborhoods, on and on and on. I met with these groups, and these groups said, we're going to make this happen. We are going to hold Prosper accountable. And because I believe in these neighborhood community groups, I told them that I would be a yes vote. So therefore, today, I am a yes vote. I vote aye.
Wheeler.
Well, tax increment financing always sounds complicated. It's sort of a wonky name for something that I believe can be a very powerful tool for sharing our advanced goals. As I indicated earlier, this new TIF district and the plan for what happens within the district will guide over $300 million in public investments in Cully over the next 30 years. Cully is a very special part of our city. It's the city's most culturally and ethnically diverse community, and it's facing significant displacement pressures right now. These TIF resources will fund housing and economic development projects that will help address some of the pressures and move the community closer towards its vision. As I shared last week, I'm deeply impressed by the level of partnership and collaboration that went into developing this proposal. Today's vote wraps up a 4-year-long process that centered historically underserved, marginalized, and underrepresented community voices. Today you can say you have been heard. And it creates a new 30-year commitment to working together to guide these investments. There are several organizations that were critical to this effort. Amongst them are 42nd Avenue, the Cully Boulevard Alliance, Habitat for Humanity, Verde, Hacienda, CDC, Native American Youth and Family Center, the Cully Association of Neighbors, as well as others. I want to thank you all for your time, your energy, your advocacy, your trust, your leadership, your partnership. But perhaps more than anything than those is your commitment and passion for the community in making sure that we lay a foundation for a healthy and inclusive community going forward. I also want to thank the other Cully community members who took the time to weigh in over the last 4 years. Commissioner Ryan, I want to thank you for co-sponsoring this proposal and for your leadership as the commissioner in charge of the Portland Housing Bureau. And I also want to make sure I thank the staff at Prosper Portland who worked very, very hard on this as well. Dana DeCline, Catherine Hardinger, Roger Gonzalez, Robert Smith, Lisa Avaf, Shay Flaherty Bettine, Tony Barnes, and of course, Director Kimberly Branham, who's hiding in the back of the room. And PHB staff, Interim Director Molly Rogers, Interim Deputy Matt Scheibold, and Jesse Connor. Thank you for your leadership and your commitment. Each of you had a role to play in moving this forward. Each of you put in the time to build relationships and engage in a collaborative and I believe very authentic way. There's a lot more co-creation ahead as we work together to implement this new TIF district. So let's get started. I vote aye, and the ordinance is adopted. Thank you. We don't yet have time, we can't go to the second time certain item. We'll go to the regular agenda, please. And let's see, where did I just put my agenda? Here it is, there it is. Staples came out. Here we are. Item number 971, please. And this is first reading, or second reading of a non-emergency ordinance.
Authorize application to Federal Emergency Management Agency for Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities grant to increase disaster resilience through project planning, solar microgrid construction, and tree planting in the amount of $7,200,000.
Great. Colleagues, any further discussion on this item? Please call the roll.
Maps.
I want to thank PBIM for the important work they do. I'm also happy to see these grant proposals move forward. For these reasons and more, I vote aye.
Rubio.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Hardesty.
Aye.
Wheeler.
I want to thank our emergency management staff for their hard work to help the city live out our core values, especially those of fiscal responsibility, equity, and collaboration. I'm very happy to vote aye, and the ordinance is adopted. And now we will move to item number 972. This is a report.
Accept bid of Moore Excavation, Inc. for the South Bancroft and South Texas Street Sewer Rehabilitation Project for $1,752,690.
The Bureau of Environmental Services needs to rehabilitate over 1,000 feet of severely deteriorated sewer pipe at Bancroft, McAdam, and South Texas Street. This report authorizes a contract to complete that rehabilitation work to avoid backups and further pipe failures this winter. I think that is about the most vanilla description of this we possibly could have come up for G-rated television. Chief Procurement Officer Biko Taylor is here to walk us through the report. Biko, you must be virtual today because I don't see you in the room. Where is he?
Virtual.
Oh, yes, on the screen. In a little box. Good morning, Biko.
Good morning. Good morning, City Council. For the record, I'm Biko Taylor, the city's Chief Procurement Officer. July 20th, 2022, City Council approved Ordinance 190939 for this project. The BES engineers estimate for this project was $1.77 million, and the confidence level that the project could be achieved at that level was moderate. Procurement Services issued an invitation to bid on August 29th, 2022, with a due date of September 22nd, 2022, and 2 bids were received. Moore Excavation was the low bidder and is the recommended awardee here. Their proposal came in at $1.752 million, which is slightly under the engineering estimate. The city has a standard 20% aspirational goal that applies to this solicitation. And the following is a breakdown of a utilization that Just Bucket Excavating submitted. So 78.7% of this project will be self-performed by Moore Excavation. 20% will be performed by certified co-bid subcontractors, and 1% will be completed by non-certified subcontractors. Moore Excavation is located in Fairview, Oregon, and is not a state co-bid certified contractor. Funds are available in the BES Sewer System Operating Fund, the FY 22-23 budget for this project. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. We should have a BES project manager in attendance as well.
Colleagues, any questions on this item? Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Director Taylor. I'm just curious. Moore is a company we know well because they show up here a lot for contracts, and they do not appear to be doing better at identifying minority subcontractors. So what's the strategy about making some changes happen and how these contracts are awarded and who has the benefit of these contracts?
We've taken on more responsibility since standing up our inclusive contracting management team here at the city of Portland. And because of that, our outreach efforts have been magnified and amplified. On this particular contract, I make no excuses for Moore Excavating, but more so we'll identify limitations in the market for them to partner with certain firms. Certain firms that were approached for this project were at capacity. And so, we did work with more an outreach plan to increase participation. So the strategy is to continue to lean in, continue to work with the community, continue to provide capacity building funding for those minority subcontractors that would benefit and successfully bid on projects such as this one.
Thank you for that, Director Taylor. And I guess with the new certification, there may be other opportunities to diversify these contracting pools, because in my 4 years here, this hasn't changed much.
There'll be opportunities for us to identify those that may not have COVID certification and recognize them as such if they are minority-owned firms that are building capacity towards this work. So it's our hope that, those items that were passed in March of 2022 will manifest themselves in more opportunities for disadvantaged businesses to compete here.
And I know next year we will have the, what is it called? Diversity, what is it called? The study.
Disparity study.
Thank you. It was on the tip of my tongue. I couldn't remember the words. The disparity study, which hopefully will inform how we move forward. One last question. Did we remove the barrier of bonding for subcontractors for the city of Portland?
I don't believe we've removed that barrier yet. The work continues to, I think, lessen that barrier. I don't believe bonding will be something that will be completely removed, but we continue to work to provide alternative options to support those that need certain levels of bonding to compete on our projects.
Well, let me just say that the city of Portland is the only government that requires subcontractors, rather than the primary contractor, to have that bonding. And that puts minority contractors at a huge disadvantage. So I hope you'll continue to look into that and actually work on removing that barrier rather than minimizing that barrier. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks, Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you, Commissioner Hardesty. Any further comments or questions at this time? Public testimony. Do we have any public testimony at this time?
We have one person signed up.
Great.
In person, Joshua Magnanimously. It doesn't look like they're here.
Very good. I'll entertain a motion to accept the report.
So moved.
Commissioner Mapps moves. Can I please get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Ryan seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll on the report.
Maps,
Aye.
Rubio,
Aye.
Ryan,
Aye.
Hardesty.
I really appreciate Director Taylor and his vision around making equitable contracting opportunities available, and really hope that he gets the support he needs to transform procurement from what it is today to what we hope it will be tomorrow. I vote aye.
Wheeler.
I vote aye. Thank you. The report is accepted. Next item, please, is item 973.
Authorize multi-year price agreements with Associated Petroleum Products, Inc. and Fleet Fuels, LLC for ongoing citywide supply of gasoline and diesel fuel for an annual agreement amount of $8 million.
This is an emergency ordinance. While the city begins to convert its fleet to alternative fuels, it has an ongoing need for gasoline and diesel fuel for its vehicles and equipment, as well as vehicles operated by other local agencies who buy fuel from the city of Portland. The city's current price agreement contract will expire December 31st, 2022. This ordinance authorizes a new multi-year price agreement to ensure the city has adequate and consistent fuel supply. Biko Taylor is here to walk us through this ordinance as well.
Thank you, Mayor Wheeler. So City Fleet has an ongoing need for supply of gasoline and diesel to fuel most of the city's vehicles, and also vehicles owned and operated by Multnomah County and Putnam Public Schools, where City Fleet sells such fuel to these agencies at our City Fleet's filling stations. Diesel is also needed for several of the city's backup emergency generators. The city's current multi-year price agreement for fuel with Associated Petroleum Products expires on December 31st, 2022, and the city must establish at least one new pricing agreement to replace that fuel supply. The city recognizes the need to convert its fleet of conventional fuel vehicles to alternative fuel vehicles powered by electricity, renewable natural gas, and green hydrogen to help mitigate the effects of climate change. The city has begun this process of transformation and is committed to continue the transformation over the coming years. But in the meantime, the city and its customers will continue to need gasoline and diesel fuel for the foreseeable future. The city's current fuel vendor, Associated Petroleum Products, has been providing a satisfactory supply of gasoline, but has not been able to provide a consistent supply of R99 diesel, which is a renewable grade of diesel fuel that is made from low carbon, recently living, renewable biomass, such as vegetable oil and animal fats, instead of conventional diesel made from fossilized biomass. The city's policy and desire to fuel all diesel engines with R99 when it is available requires a consistent supply of R99. Fleet Fuels LLC is a Portland-based, BIPOC-owned, COVID certified firm, and it's also a disadvantaged business that will be able to provide a consistent supply of R99 fuel in the quantities the city requires, in addition to gasoline and at prices that procurement services and the city fleet team has deemed competitive. Considering all of this, the city would like to establish 2 new price agreements for a supply of fuel. The city would like to utilize one of the state of Oregon agreements with Associated, which was competitively solicited and awarded, and also a price agreement with the disadvantaged business Fleet Fuels Incorporated, which would be a sole source procurement based on the fact that no other fuel suppliers in the Portland region have been able to provide a reliable source of R99 due to supply chain challenges and their own contractual obligations that limit supply. I do have documented evidence of our own vendor, Associated Petroleum Products, not being able to provide the quantities of R99 fuel as requested by the city. Fleet Fuel's pricing is very competitive and commensurate with APP's pricing. And the plan is to have Fleet Fuel as the city's primary supplier, with Associated Petroleum Products being available as a backup supplier. The city's annual spend on gasoline and diesel fuel delivered in bulk in 2021 was $4.5 million. The average price of fuel today has nearly doubled in the last 5 years, and we may continue to see the rise over the coming years of diesel biofuels. So we have this agreement capped at $8 million per year per agreement. This would allow city fleet maximum flexibility to cope with rising fueling prices and to buy from whichever vendor is able to best meet the city's needs at the time of the order. With that, I welcome any questions that council may have. I want to highlight the fact that Fleet Fuels is a minority Black-owned company, and this is looked at as a big win for Jim Harley and the strategic sourcing team at Procurement Services. Also, Alan Bates, Business Operations Supervisor from City Fleet, is available for questions.
Thank you, Director Taylor. Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you, Mayor and Director Taylor. Director Taylor, I want to say that your presentation answered every single one of the questions that I had, and I am grateful for that. When I first looked at the agenda, I couldn't understand why we were talking about renewable fuel this afternoon and why we were locking in a 5-year contract this morning. So to your credit, Director Taylor, it was a waste bringing Mr. Harley and Mr. Bates with you today, because you truly answered every single question I thought about. Very thorough presentation. Thank you. Very good strategy. I'm good.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, do we have public testimony on this side?
We have one person signed up, James Posey.
Mr. Posey, welcome. 3 minutes. Name for the record, if you could, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, Mayor and Commissioners. Thank you for taking my testimony this morning. First of all, let me just say that I'm very, very pleased at the investment you all made in hiring Biko Taylor, because this particular kind of contract, people in our community would never see the light of day if somebody like him was not in the position that he's in to sort of like source this thing out and really talk about this opportunity. This is a win-win opportunity for everybody. We need the fuel. We've got everything in place, and And these are times when we start talking about building wealth in the African American community and other communities, these are the sort of the foundational kind of things that need to occur, that we have over time some income going back into the community. Let me just say, I drove a dump truck for about 25 years, and the other piece of this is that the skill sets need to drive those sort of big rigs. I don't know if you can imagine 180,000 pounds behind a vehicle in this traffic. That's why I got high blood pressure today, because of the work I did for about 20 years in that. So there's a skill set, and just a little tidbit, CDL, commercial driving license, is a skill that's in high demand. So this is another win-win, because this particular contract will allow training and development in that area. So that's maybe a side benefit that you all are not recognizing. And so with that, I just want to say I'm very pleased and excited that we have somebody like Biko who can do this kind of thing. And let me just comment quickly. Let me get off of here, because this is a no-brainer for me. But in the last portion, you guys talked about more excavation. Commissioner Hardesty is absolutely right. I've been dealing with more excavation for 20, 30 years almost, and they haven't made any progress. When you all see more excavation come up on City Council, it ought to be a flashing red light. And the box that you all put Biko Taylor in terms of building capacity, the ability to have contractors out on the ground, comes as a result of not really holding companies like Moore Excavation accountable for their performance. So with that, I want to thank you all for what you've done, and I appreciate what you're doing going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Posey, before you run off, I know you get embarrassed easily by praise.
By
I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being here, and I want to, in person, you've made the effort to come down here and not only support the contract on behalf of others, but you also are acknowledging the good work of our director, Biko Taylor. And this is a time in history where public employees don't often get a lot of thanks. Mm-hmm. It means a lot. So thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I just, you guys hired him. I don't know whether you hired him on accident or whatever the reason. It was a good move, and so I want to applaud you for that, and let's continue to go forward.
Do you think that's an accident from our perspective or his perspective?
Well, the trick is to keep him. That's the
Yes,
trick.
Sir.
Okay, thank you.
Well said. Good words to depart on. Thank you, sir, for your testimony. Is there any other public testemony on this item?
That completes public.
Colleagues, anything further before we call the roll? This is an emergency ordinance. Please call the roll.
Maps.
I'd like to praise procurement for their excellent work on this contract. I vote aye.
Rubio.
Thank you, Mayor, for bringing this item forward. It's really crucial that we execute these contracts so there's no lapse in the service for the city and other public agencies. And I'm really pleased to see the city lead both equity on equity in contracting and also mitigating impacts of climate change through our procurement policies. And as we're moving forward on policy, asking industry to move towards renewable fuels, it's essential that the city, as ourselves, that we're walking our talk. So thank you, Director Taylor, and the procurement team for your excellent work here, and I'm happy to vote aye.
Ryan.
Thank you, Director Taylor, and thank you for the sage testimony, Mr. Posey. I appreciate that. This is an opportunity, the right vendor at the right time. We're moving forward both racial and climate justice. I vote aye.
Hardesty.
Thank you, Mayor, for bringing this proposal forward. Thank you, Director Taylor, and thank you, Jim Harley. I certainly drilled you the last time you were here, and I learned a lot more than I ever thought I would know about fuel and renewable fuel and that kind of stuff. And Alan Bates, you always come very, very well prepared, and I really am grateful for your years of service to the city of Portland. I'm very happy to vote aye.
Wheeler.
I also would like to thank Mr. Harley and Mr. Bates. Great presentation. And Biko, just for the record, it was no mistake. You're the best person for the job, and that's why you're here. Thank you for your great service to the community. I vote aye. The ordinance is adopted. Second reading, please. Item number 974.
Authorize letter of agreement between the city and the Portland Police Association to ensure police officers receive a higher rate of pay upon promotion to sergeant, detective, or criminalist, and to amend the hiring process for public safety specialists.
This is a second reading. Is there any further discussion on this item?
Yes,
Commissioner
Mayor.
Hardesty.
Thank you, Mayor. I did have a question that I think I got answered, but I'd like to have answered on the public record. As I was reviewing this, I realized that we were changing the psychological exam for PS3s, and my curiosity was like, okay, so who's deciding the psychological fitness of PS3 officers if there's a different standard than there is for police? So is there someone here from the Police Bureau that can answer that question?
Do we have any staff members present who can answer
Oh,
that
I see
question?
Deputy Chief Frome has turned his mic on.
Oh, there he is.
Good
Yes.
morning, Deputy
Welcome,
Chief.
sir.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. Good morning, Commissioner Hardesty. I am not exactly the expert on this, but here's what I think is going to answer your question. When the public safety support specialists were created, we bargained with the Portland Police Association, and at that time, the Portland Police Association wanted them to have the exact same hiring criteria as police officers. We are now at a place where we want to recognize that the job duties and roles of a public safety support specialist are not the same as a sworn police officer. And we would like to have the ability for the group of psychologists and psychiatrists that we have on retainer to develop a alternative standard for the psychological test, I guess is the right way to put it. So, Hardin Psychological, Dr. Corey, they will work together and they will determine what an appropriate psychological test will be for a public safety support specialist as opposed to a sworn police officer.
Deputy Chief, you said something that I didn't know actually existed. Do we currently have a panel of psychologists that we are rotating through? I thought Dr. Corey was still the only game in town.
No, we have some other psychologists that are able to interview police candidates as well.
Thank you for that. It looks like maybe Gerald, did you want to add something, or you're on mute?
Not at all, Commissioner.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Deputy Chief. Thank you, Mayor.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Any further comments on this? Questions? Please call the roll.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
I want to thank Deputy Chief Frome for being here today to answer these questions. I also recognize there were questions about this exam from the community, and I'm glad that Commissioner Hardesty, you raised the question so that we were clear about the distinctions here. I'm also glad to see that we're working through these hiring issues to ensure that PS3s have their best ability to succeed in these new roles, while ensuring that we maintain a high level of scrutiny around the qualifications of individuals in public service roles. I also want to recognize, that we have a vested interest in ensuring that our highest performing officers continue to have an incentive to stay with PPB and achieve their career goals, as well as ensuring pay equity across employee levels, and that's important. So for these reasons, I vote aye.
Ryan.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for the question, Commissioner Hardesty, and thank you, Deputy Chief Frome, for the answers. I vote aye.
Hardesty.
Yes, thank you so much for being here, Deputy Chief Frome. Very grateful, as always, for your clear-headedness and your clear answer to questions. I am very happy to vote aye and look forward to hopefully you, before I give up the mic, let me just say, maybe this is a good opportunity to talk with some of our universities about what the kind of ideal profile is for someone involved in public service, right, that is unarmed. It'd be great to actually develop a profile that really is community-centric and community-focused. So I hope that the Bureau will take advantage of the the opportunity to reimagine what the appropriate psychological profile could be for PS3. So happy to vote aye.
Wheeler.
I'd like to expound on this just a bit. This agreement brings better guarantees of fairness both to sworn and unsworn staff in our police bureau. First, it corrects for an inadvertent reduction in pay that could occur when some officers received a promotion within the bureau. With this correction, officers can now be assured that when they earn a promotion, their pay will actually reflect a rise in rank, as we work to provide upward mobility and retain good officers within the Portland Police Bureau. Second of all, this agreement reflects important distinctions, as you just heard from Mike Frome, between sworn armed officers and unsworn unarmed public safety support specialists. These are very different roles within the Portland Police Bureau. As unarmed staff, PS3s carry out their duties under circumstances that typically do not involve the use of physical force. PS3s generally respond to calls that present very low safety risks comparably, such as cold thefts or other nonviolent crimes. Importantly, this agreement reflects the significant differences between staff duties of unarmed and armed staff. The work of PS3s is much more akin to work in other bureaus that do not require any psychological examination, park rangers, for instance. This agreement removes barriers to hiring, and it allows us to be more inclusive as we work to expand our civilian public safety response. To be clear, PS3s will continue to be required to take psychological examinations. PS3s will continue to be required to pass psychological examinations and be deemed suitable for public safety work. And PS3s who go on to become sworn officers will undergo additional psychological examinations and must meet the higher standards necessary to serve as armed officers. This agreement opens the door to more community members who want to be part of improving public safety in Portland in ways other than becoming a sworn officer. I vote aye, and the ordinance is adopted. Colleagues, now we can move to the second time certain agenda. Which is item number 958, please.
Adopt the West Portland Town Center Plan goals and policies, visions, action charts, land use concept, and circulation growth concept diagrams, and coordinated growth strategy for zoning and infrastructure, amend the comprehensive plan map, zoning map, Title 33, and citywide design guidelines.
Thank you, colleagues. We're back today to continue our work on the West Portland Town Center Plan. To help reorient everyone, in case anybody forgot, the proposal before us is a land use, infrastructure, and community development plan for the West Portland Town Center area. As you may recall, on October 12th, we held a public hearing and took testimony on the plan. The record was closed at 5 p.m. on October 14th. Then on October 27th, Council discussed and voted on amendments to the recommended draft. The as amended West Portland Town Center Plan Volumes 1 and 2 documents reflect the amendments voted on by the Council on October 27th, so no further action is needed on those exhibits today. Today we will be voting on amendments to the ordinance and the findings of fact report. After we vote on these amendments, the ordinance will pass to a second reading for its final vote. Staff, can you please provide an overview of the documents being considered today? Welcome, by the way, and if you could just introduce yourself for the record, that'd be terrific.
Thank you, Mayor and Council members. I'm Joan Fredrickson. I'm with the Bureau of Planning and Sustainability. I've been co-leading this project for a number of years now. So there are two documents related to the plan that we are bringing to you today for consideration and a vote. First, we have an amendment ordinance for the West Portland Town Center Plan. The ordinance has been revised so that the directives reference the as amended West Portland Town Center Plan report, which includes the changes that were made or approved by the council on October 27th. Second, we have an amended findings of fact report for the plan, which is Exhibit A of the ordinance. The findings of fact report has been revised to provide further explanation in response to testimony and to provide for general clarity. So these two documents are part of the plan's legislative package. We are happy to answer any questions.
Very good. Colleagues, any questions at this particular time? And Joan, thank you for that summary of where we are. Commissioner Rubio, at this time, would you like to make a motion to approve the documents described by Joan, by the BPS staff?
Thank you, Mayor. It's good to see this important work moving forward, and I would like to make a motion to approve the as amended ordinance and find of fact report for the West Portland Town Center Plan.
Second.
Commissioner Rubio moves the approval of the documents, and Commissioner Hardesty seconds. Is there any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio. Ryan.
Aye.
Hardesty.
Aye.
Wheeler.
I vote aye. The motion passes, and the ordinance is now amended. This ordinance now moves to a second reading as amended. We'll continue this item to our regular council session on Wednesday, November 30th at 9:45 a.m. time certain. Is that correct, Keelan?
That's correct.
Very good. So that's November 30th at 9:45 a.m. time certain. On that date, we'll take the final vote on the West Portland Town Center Plan ordinance. I believe I will have a conflict on the day this comes back to council for a final vote. I have another important civic duty that same day, so I will miss the opportunity to vote yes on this. I want to take a moment, therefore, to thank our project staff, our partner agencies, our bureaus, and the community that worked on this plan over the last few years. I want to make it very clear that I applaud the vision and the concrete steps that this plan brings forward. While you emphasize that the plan is just the beginning of the work in this particular corner of Portland, I want to join you in the excitement of embarking on the work, forging a new, resilient, and inclusive direction for this area. So thank you all. This concludes this particular item. Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you, Mayor. If you don't mind, I'd like to take a moment to really applaud this project as well.
Please. Yeah.
I also will not be here on November 30th for the vote, but want to make it 100% clear how much I support this project, how much I support the community working for over 20 plus years to create a vision of what was possible, and how I'm convinced that the community will make this plan a reality. But it will take the community to hold the city's feet to the fire, to make sure that we're not just passing a plan that will sit on somebody's shelf. And so thank you for all your work and all the work to come forward.
Thank you.
I was about to vote aye, but I forgot.
Well, I think we just tipped our hand pretty heavily that if we were here, we would vote aye. Yes, you'll have a quorum for the 30th. That's correct. There's a chance I'll get sent back here early. In fact, I would say it's a very good chance, but we'll just see. But at any rate, that concludes that item. Thanks to everybody who worked so hard on it. We'll go back now to the regular agenda where we left off. Item number 975. This is a non-emergency ordinance.
Authorize bid solicitation and contract with the lowest responsive and responsible bidder for construction of the Fulton Pump Mains Replacement Project for an estimated cost of $4,700,000.
Commissioner Maps.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Colleagues, this item comes to us from the Water Bureau. This project seeks to replace approximately 3,300 feet of water pipe which runs under I-5 and Southwest Barber Boulevard. Some of these pipes are more than 100 years old. The Water Bureau proposes to replace these aging pipes with modern earthquake-resistant pipes. This project is important for at least two reasons. First, this upgrade will help ensure that the 42,000 people served by these pipes will continue to receive water even after a major earthquake. Second, in the event of an earthquake, these new pipes will reduce the risk of damage to two major transportation arteries, I-5 and Barber Boulevard. This project is estimated to cost $4.7 million. This ordinance authorizes the Bureau to solicit proposals for the lowest responsible and responsive bidder. And here to tell us more about this project, we have Jody Inman, Chief Engineer with the Water Bureau. Welcome, Jody.
Thank you, Commissioner Mapps, and it is nice to see everybody in person. So I'm going to try this hybrid environment. I've gotten used to talking in PowerPoint mode. So I have a PowerPoint for you, and we're going to see how this works. So can we show the PowerPoint? Oh, hey, look at that. It's awesome. You guys have worked out the kinks. All right, so Commissioner Mapps, I'll keep this brief because it's pretty straightforward, but we're here today about the Fulton Pump Mains Replacement Project. Next slide, please. So I just like to always start with a little reminder about how this project fits into our overall program in the Water Bureau budget. This project is part of our distribution mains program, and for some context, there are approximately 2,250 miles of water main underneath our right-of-way and through areas. So that bring water to your tap every day. We do have a very strong asset management program, which we use to identify which projects we're going to bring forward for you for that 2,250 miles of water main. We have a replacement goal of approximately 35,000 to 50,000 lineal feet of pipe a year, which equates to just over 4.5 miles, so a small portion of that over 2,000 miles that are in our system. And we prioritize that based on condition and risk, as I mentioned above. In addition, the goal of many of our distribution main contracting program is to increase our footage to identify or to address what we've identified as an upcoming wave of aging pipe that will experience leaks. We also have made a conscious effort to strategize our replacement into different sized and types of projects to be able to provide multiple different opportunities to the contracting community. And then again, this reduces risk, this particular project. Next slide, please. So this particular water main, how did this one rise to the top of the list? This water main is actually a pump main, so there are not any direct services to it, but it is a critical part of our backbone system. It pumps water from the newly completed Hannah Mason Pump Station, which is down along the river, and up to our Burlingame tanks. The Burlingame tanks is one of the key distribution points for the West Hills, and then also to our current supplier, our current supply to TVWD. This particular section of water main is old, as Commissioner Mapps has indicated, and it has had a history of leaks and breaks. This main is, sorry, I should look at my notes. So yeah, we serve over 42,000 people with this main, and it's approximately 60 to 109 years old in different locations. This project will improve resiliency, and it will mitigate risks. And to show you a little more on those risks, next slide, please. So you can see here two particularly high-risk areas, and so one of the factors not only is the condition, but this section of pump main was addressed or identified as one of the highest risks to the Water Bureau in our most recent asset management risk rating process. We have uncased or pipe that goes underneath I-5 and under Barber Boulevard, and in case of failure, it is likely to take out both of those in transportation corridors, which would have a significant impact on both being able to respond to an emergency and or if it happened during our daily business, be able to have a huge impact on being able to get into and out of downtown and also commerce. Next slide. So with that, we are requesting the authorization to bid, solicitation, and contract the lowest responsible and responsive bidder for construction of the Fulton Pump Mains Replacement Project. Are there any questions?
Questions at this particular juncture? Very good. Does that complete your presentation?
That completes my presentation, yes,
Okay,
thank
very
you.
good. Do we have any public testimony on this matter?
No one signed up.
All right, then with that, this is I'm sorry, didn't turn on my microphone. Apologize. There was no public testimony, and there's no further discussion. Therefore, this is a first reading of a non-emergency ordinance. It moves to second reading. Next item, 976. This is an emergency ordinance.
Amend contract with Landis and Landis Construction LLC for additional costs to meet project specifications for the Southwest Capitol Highway, Southwest Taylor's Ferry Road to Southwest Garden Homes project for a total contract amount of $18,251,217.
Commissioner Hardesty.
Let me turn on my mic. Thank you, Mayor. This transformative project in Southwest Portland has been challenged by unprecedented national and global conditions, including a pandemic and record inflation. Also, the project quarter has produced a number of additional surprises, including old walls, fences, sheds, trees, and other structural and typographic features that add costs and require some redesign. But even with these challenges, the revised contract amount will still be below the 2021 engineer's estimate for construction, which was $18.5 million, due to the very competitive bid we received from Landis and Landis Construction, a firm that is doing great work on this project. PBOT staff is here to quickly walk us through a short presentation on this.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, and please introduce yourself for the record.
Great. Good morning, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm Steve Sigathy, Capital Delivery Division Manager at PBOT. Before you with this construction contract amendment. Next slide, please. Thank you for advancing the slides. So just to reorient you to the project, this is one of the largest projects we've done in Southwest Portland in recent memory. This is Capitol Highway between Taylor's Ferry and Garden Home Roads. It's also a big partnership project with the Bureau of Environmental Services and Water Bureau. Sidewalks and ADA ramps, protected bike lanes, multi-use path, pavement reconstruction, marked crosswalks, and a very significant stormwater collection and management system being installed as part of the project, as well as upgraded water mains. Next slide, please. We are about 3/4 of the way through construction already. If you've been out there, you've probably seen some of the concrete sidewalks and perhaps some of the stormwater features. The remainder of the project consists of completing the sidewalks and bike lanes on the east side of the road and completing the planting and final paving and signing and striping. We look to be finished in May of '23. Next slide, please. Just some images of the construction. This was earlier in the project. On the upper left is installing stormwater pipes. Upper right is installing one of the 4 large stormwater management gardens near the post office on Multnomah Boulevard. Bottom left there are roadside retaining walls, and bottom right are the concrete multi-use path being constructed. And next slide, one more picture slide. This is just showing that many of the features are already constructed and available for the public to use, including the west side multi-use path. And 3 out of the 4 stormwater basins are already collecting our winter rains. Next slide. So the amendments, again, this is an increase of $4,296,151.60. City code requires that contract amendments above 25% come to council for approval. As Commissioner Hardesty stated, we are thankfully still below the engineer's estimate, so that's a very important point. The other important point there at the bottom is that the necessary funds are budgeted. So this is not an ask for additional general fund or anything like that. The amendment will be covered roughly 62% PBOT, 37% BES, and a small 1% with water, to be determined through our memorandum of understanding that we already have. And I understand, Commissioner Mapps, you've been briefed by project staff. Okay, next slide. Just to get into the cost drivers. Commissioner Hardesty, you mentioned some of them. I'm sorry, we had one more number slide here. Just the total project cost will be just under $30 million on this project after this amendment, and you can see the cost share between PBOT, BES, and water there. Okay, next slide. Again, so as Commissioner Hardesty mentioned, some cost drivers here. I'll go into them one by one, actually. So next slide. Retaining wall and re-engineering. Some of the retaining walls, the tallest ones on the project, needed to be re-engineered to address soil stability concerns and protecting the homes, the foundations of adjacent homes. This was 3 out of the 13 walls had to be re-engineered for this purpose, and that added about $728,000. Next slide. The planting and establishment package, this was an intentional add. We completed the planting plans after going to construction, and this was intentional in order to move the construction of the project forward in a timely fashion. So our price proposal from the contractor is approximately $945. This will be planting 114 trees and over 2,500 native shrubs to re-establish the vegetation that was lost when we cleared the corridor for the project. Next slide. The third item, as Commissioner mentioned, design and survey deficiencies, just some surprises along some of the property frontages. For example, these 2 old retaining walls that had been there for many decades were falling apart. We had to completely redesign several private property frontages. Next slide. Inflation and supply chain, of course, we've all heard about it in the news, but we do have contract provisions that allow payment for price escalation on asphalt and fuel, which we did execute on this contract. And finally, next slide is delay and extended overhead. Our city specifications do allow reimbursement of the extended cost of the contractor to continue to be mobilized and maintain, for example, this large construction yard next to the Sears Armory, and to be available for that additional work and as well as the planting package. So that was about $582. So those are some of the cost drivers, and the last slide is just restating our numbers here. We were at about just shy of 14 million, and when we started the contract, we were adding about 4.3. This is a roughly 31% contract authority increase to get to 18.25, which again is still thankfully lower than our engineer's estimate, and we have the funds budgeted. With that, I'll take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. Any questions on this item? Do we have public testimony on this item?
No one signed up.
Very good. This is Ms. Jordan. Please call the roll.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Hardesty.
Excellent job, PBOT. Thank you so much. I vote aye.
Wheeler.
Looks good. I vote aye. This is stop. Next item.
Thank you.
977, which is emergency work.
Authorize competitive solicitation for the construction of the 82nd Avenue Crossings, Klickitat, Lambert, Northeast, Southeast project.
Commissioner Hurst.
Thank you, Mayor. 82nd Avenue is one of Portland's most dangerous streets, and as we all know, is in urgent need of critical safety improvements. This project is one of PBOT's critical safety and maintenance investments on 82nd Avenue, because its initial funding must be obligated by December 31st, 2024, and spent by December 31st, 2026, PBOT is prioritizing investments that were identified in previous planning processes and meet critical safety needs. This project is just one of the many investments on the corridor. Over the next several years, PBOT and ODOT will add a total of 17 new or upgraded crossings on 82nd Avenue to improve safety and fill many of the existing crossing gaps. This project will invest in critical safety improvements at 4 intersections. The project will construct new signalized pedestrian crossing on 82nd Avenue at Northeast Klickitat, Northeast Shaler, Southeast Clinton, Southeast Sheeler. These pedestrian crossings will include median islands with trees, mitigating the disproportional harmful impacts of heat waves residents and property owners feel along 82nd Avenue. PBOT Peabody and staff are here to answer any questions that you may have, council. Thank you. And I believe, who do we have? I think we have Matt on the line for this. Oh, we have Nicole. Hi, Nicole. Welcome.
Hi. Okay, I think I'm sharing my screen. Can you guys see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay, and am I sharing it or is the clerk running it? I don't know. All right, well, I'll go ahead and get started. It seems like someone there is sharing it for me. So thank you, Commissioner Hardesty. Good morning, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Nicole Pierce. I'm a Capital Project Manager with PBOT, and I am the 82nd Avenue Project Delivery Program Manager. So I think this will be the fourth 82nd Avenue presentation you will have seen in the last few months. The team came to you in April to accept the jurisdictional transfer and to accept the $80 million in ARPA funds. And then in June, we were here to get you to authorize a contract for some design and planning work. And then most recently in September, Ashley McClay and I were here to get authorization for the right-of-way work for the project that I'm here to talk to you about today. Next slide, please. So this project was designed by our in-house engineers. So it was not designed under that contract that you authorized in June. And the reason we designed this in-house is in an attempt to get some improvements on the ground as soon as possible. So today's requested council action is to authorize a competitive solicitation for this project. Next slide. This project is part of the near-term critical fixes that we've mentioned in our previous presentations. As Commissioner Hardesty mentioned, we'll be installing 4 new signalized pedestrian crossings at Klickitat, Schuyler, Clinton, and Schiller. The total cost for this project will be approximately $7.5 million, and that will be paid for with that $80 million in ARPA funding. Next slide, please. So this is just a photo of one of the intersections where we'll be installing a new signalized pedestrian crossing. This is 82nd Avenue and Southeast Schiller. Next slide. And as shown in this rendering, the crossings will be signalized with median islands. We'll be upgrading all of the corners to meet ADA standards, and the median islands will be planted with trees. Safe pedestrian crossings and medians like these are some of the most effective measures we have to reduce or eliminate fatal and serious injury crashes. And these new pedestrian crossings with tree-lined median islands will provide safe and comfortable places for people to cross 82nd Avenue and will reduce the risk of turning crashes. The project is scheduled to start construction in 2023. Next slide. And we have a great project.
Can we, Commissioner Ryan has a question just on that point. So why don't we go ahead, Nicole, if you
Could you
don't
go
mind,
back,
and
Nicole, to that
answer.
last slide?
Sure.
I just want to know what those are in the middle of the, see in the very middle? Yeah, what is that?
So those are concrete median islands. So
Forces people not to be able to take those turns.
yeah, so pedestrians will, when they're walking across the street, they'll have that safe refuge in the middle to stand if they have to stop halfway through. It's just a
Stopping traffic going this way. So the one in the very middle of the intersection, so it means there'll be no more traffic flow going east-west?
correct. Yeah, it'll be a right in, right out for those side streets. Mhm. And we have done outreach to all of the businesses that are on those corners. And they're all more or less supportive and, you know, glad to see safety improvements.
And change is hard. Change is hard. So sometimes, you know, they have to see it. But you are aware of what Commissioner Ryan is talking about? It's like the white little signs that are in the middle of the intersection?
Oh, yeah. The signs will just say, you know, right turn only.
Is that what you were talking about, Commissioner?
Well, yeah, it's right. Yeah, it's right in the middle of the intersection.
Yeah,
I've-
yeah.
I've
So
never
they're just
seen
the
this
signs.
before.
They're just the turn signs. They're not concrete barriers.
Got it.
Make sense now?
It makes sense. It's
Okay.
just a little startling. I've never seen it before, so. yeah.
Just the rendering.
And it would be interesting if any of the businesses are here to explain their point of view, but I haven't heard from any, so.
Yeah, you will. If they don't like it, you will. But I know that they've done a good job of engaging folks long before the transfer took place and ongoing. So I think we're going to be good.
Thanks. Yeah, and that was it. I was wrapping up. So does anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, as long as we're on this topic. So will all of the pedestrian intersections look like the model that you just showed us?
No, so that's just a standard rendering. Most of the intersections that we're looking at are actually offset intersections. So they will look a little different, but that's the general feel of them with the tree line medians and the concrete medians and the signal.
Great, thank you.
I'll stay with this for a sec. So all four of them will have the visual that I brought to everyone's attention because it was something we're not used to seeing.
Yeah, it'll be something slightly different because, like I said, that rendering, it was just a through street, and I don't know if you guys can see my hands if I'm too small, but the streets will be kind of those streets aren't they're offset intersections, so there'll be a little different geometry to each one of them, but the function of it will be the same for each one.
But we'll stop east-west flow when there's a green light. It'll all be about the right turn.
Correct.
Okay.
And currently those are unsignalized intersections, so there may be folks that are currently making that move straight across 82nd Avenue, but it wouldn't be a very safe movement.
No, that makes sense, and that was a good point to make, Nicole. Yeah, thanks.
Any further questions at this particular point? Are you done, Nicole? I'm not trying to cut you off, to be clear. Are you?
No,
I'm sorry.
done.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
Commissioner Ryan had.
Yeah,
another
I'm just
question.
curious, is this an emergency because of why?
We're just trying to get it out to bid as soon as possible so we can get it built.
Yeah.
But there's no grant that we're on deadline for.
No.
Very good. And Nicole, again, I don't want to cut you off. Is that the end of your presentation?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you were able to get it all in. Very good. Is there any public testimony on this item?
No one signed up.
Very good. This is an emergency ordinance. Please call the roll.
Maps,
Aye.
Rubio,
Aye.
Ryan.
Thank you, Nicole, and thanks for being transparent with the Q&A we just experienced. I wish that I wish I would have heard more about the engagement with the businesses in those four cross streets. And I'm disappointed I didn't get to hear about that today is all. So I'll trust when your comment that you made about the fact that most people wouldn't dare to do that east-west travel when there is no light there made a lot of sense. So that was really helpful. So I will vote aye.
Hardesty.
Thank you so much, Nicole, for all your great work on this. And this is going to make a huge improvement for the safety and the lives of pedestrians and other differently abled individuals on 82nd Avenue. So I applaud these first improvements, and many more are on the way. I vote aye.
Wheeler.
I vote aye. The ordinance is adopted. Thank you very much for your great work on this, Nicole, and to everybody else who is involved in this. And of course, Commissioner Hardesty, thank you for your leadership. We'll go back to the consent agenda, where I believe my memory is 3 items were pulled. Yes, 963 being the first one, please.
Add Independent District Commission Code to ensure implementation of the voter-approved charter amendments in Portland Measure 26-228.
Colleagues, this item was pulled from the consent agenda to ensure transparency in decisions related to the effective and efficient implementation of charter reform. Last week, of course, Portland voters approved ballot measure 26228, a proposal to change our city's form of government and election system. In accordance with the approved charter amendments, this ordinance adds an independent district commission code to establish boundaries that divide the city into 4 districts for election of city councilors. The Independent District Commission will collect community input via public hearing to inform the development of the district plan. Shoshana Oppenheim, who is our Strategic Projects and Opportunities Team Manager, is here to present the ordinance. Shoshana, welcome. It's good to see you.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much, Mayor, council members. I just have a very short presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions. And I think we also have Lindley Reese from the City Attorney's Office if there's any questions that delve into the charter or that I'm unable to answer. Actually might be Maya Hayam. So I'm here to share with you our first milestone in the city's project to implement the will of Portland voters to amend the city's charter and launching the Independent District Commission. If I can make my slides go forward. I can do that. There we go. In the charter, section 3107 lays out very clearly that there are to be 4 city council districts. Each district will be represented by 3 councilors for a total of 12 city councilors. The authority of the Independent District Commission is to adopt the city's city council boundaries for elections. The commission itself will consist of 13 city residents representing a diversity of race, gender, age, and geography of the city. There are a few members of our public who are prohibited from serving on the Independent District Commission. So anyone who is currently elected, appointed city staff, city employees, candidates for elected office who are qualified for the ballot by the City Elections Office. So all of those folks are prohibited from serving on the Independent District.
Shoshana, we lost the last, Shoshana, I'm sorry, we lost the last minute. Could you do me a favor? And I wouldn't ordinarily ask you to do this, but could you turn off your video and it might help with the bandwidth so we can hear what you're saying at least? Thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry for that.
Sure. How's that?
If you could go back perfect. Could you go back about 60 seconds in your testimony?
Sure.
Please?
Maybe starting with the authority of the
Yes,
of
please.
the commission.
Yeah, please.
So the commission has the authority to adopt city council boundaries. We'll have 13 members, residents of serving on the commission. They'll represent a diversity of Portland's race, gender, age, and geography. There are a few folks that are prohibited from serving on the commission. Folks who are currently elected officials or city appointed officials, city employees, candidates for elected city office who are qualified for the ballot by the City Elections Office. The commission will be appointed by the mayor and confirmed by the council. The first commission must be confirmed no later than January 31st of 2023. The commission's terms will end upon the adoption of the districting plan, and city bureau and departments will provide technical assistance upon the commission's request. The commission's budget will be provided by the city council. Additionally, you should know that we're working on an RFP to support the commission. First, we have an RFP that will support the commission with GIS and map making skills and talents. And then we'll also have a facilitator and community engagement specialist. We expect that there will be a lot of public interest in the districting process, and we want to make sure that the district commission, Independent District Commission, is adequately resourced. So,
actually, can I jump in here,
yeah.
Mr. Mayor? Do you mind if I ask a
Not at
question
all.
about the previous slide? Can we go back to the previous slide? Which, yeah. Shoshana, can you provide us with some background on where these bullets come from? Was this spelled out in the ordinance, or in the measure that voters voted on, or is this a kind of a common sense interpretation of what we think the voters voted on?
Thank you for the question, Mayor and Commissioner Mounts. All of the language that you see on the slides is directly from the charter, or a very close representation of what's in the charter.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Ryan, do you have a question?
Yes, thank you. I do. I want to look at the bullet. It's the third bullet. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. So if, in fact, someone can serve on this commission and then decide to qualify themselves to be on the ballot.
That's my understanding of the charter, that if you are not currently a candidate for office.
But you can serve and then go ahead and run. And so I know we're in the conflict of interest bullet, and so I'm curious what the dialogue was like about that scenario.
Maya, you were much more involved with the conversations at the commission level. Are you able
We
to-
have legal counsel coming to the dais.
Oh, good.
So this is Lindley Reese from the City Attorney's Office. Maya is unfortunately in another hearing today and can't be here to answer that question. I can speak as the person who advises on ethics in the city. I can provide a little information about the conflict of interest question, which is, and so Commissioner Ryan, if you would like follow up on what the discussion was like at the Charter Commission, I can have Maya follow up with you afterwards. But in terms of conflicts of interest, there are always financial conflicts of interest. And so if someone is on a Charter Commission, on the Independent District Commission, and they are not receiving a financial benefit from their action on the district commission. So for example, it's not clear that they're going to get elected to office, right? So at most, it would be a potential conflict of interest, which they would then need to declare and say, hey, I'm thinking of running for office. I'm doing this districting. It's possible that I could benefit from that. We'd probably have them declare a potential conflict of interest if they knew they were going to run, but it wouldn't rise to the level of an actual conflict of interest under state law.
Commissioner Ryan, did that complete your question?
It was a great legal response, and I don't think it passes the conflict of interest sniff test, but it was a great legal response.
Well, and that's one of the things to remember.
So I'm not
about,
comfortable with it, is what I'm saying.
No, and I understand. And to remind everyone, the legal conflict of interest is a different standard than what is a perception of a conflict of interest. So I clearly am giving you a legal answer. So.
That's fair. Thank you, Commissioner. Oh yeah, go ahead, Commissioner Ryan, then I'll get to Commissioner Hardesty.
Why we're in this area, you brought up financing. And so if someone was connected to, I like that our city's values around elections is about the small donor campaign. What's that? I said not anymore. That's a longer conversation. However, we do have a commitment to small donor elections. And so if someone chooses to be on this, but they're connected to a gift that came in, perhaps through a special interest that was at a higher range than 250, would they be allowed to serve on this commission?
I think I'm going to have to think on that, and we'll get back to you. I would say, just so you know, nothing in this ordinance changes anything about that scenario. So I think we have a little bit of time to respond to that and think about it.
I just want to make sure that was in the public record, because now that this is real, these are the times to ask these questions. Thanks.
Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you, Lindsay, for being here to answer some questions. Please don't go anywhere. Yeah. Because you're the one I need to talk to. I just want to be clear for the public record. This is not the city's interpretation of how this process should work. This is actually what was put in front of the voters. And this is the city's best guess about how to implement the voters' will. Is that an accurate statement?
Do you mean this ordinance that's in front
this
of you?
ordinance, yes.
The ordinance in front of you actually doesn't interpret anything about what the charter says. All it does is it identifies that if there are procedures that are not addressed in the charter, we're making it clear that the body has the authority to adopt bylaws. So like if it doesn't say what happens if there's a tie vote on something, they can adopt their own procedures. It also, the charter doesn't say who will staff the Independent Districting Commission, and the ordinance does that. But that's That's it. There's nothing in this ordinance that tries to interpret what the charter sets forth for the Independent District Commission.
Thank you. I think I really wanted to make sure that that was on the public record because, you know, there's public dialogue about whether some of my colleagues agree or disagree with what the voters have done. And so it's just important that the public knows that we're just moving forward what the voters have decided to do.
Yeah, this is a purely administrative ordinance.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hardesty. Commissioner Mapps.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a quick, I think it's a request to the city attorney's office. I would find it helpful if, at your convenience, you could send my office and probably all the council offices a backgrounder memo which explains your understanding of, let's say, the Voting Rights Act apply in this particular context. I'm thinking a little bit about Section 2, although I'm not quite sure where Section 2 is. Under this current court, I'm interested in also things like equal population rules. This is different when you have multi-member districts with ranked choice voting. I just haven't seen any redistricting law applied, any voting rights law or redistricting law applied to a case like this. So a little bit of background would be helpful to just ground me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ryan. No. Commissioner, okay. And Commissioner.
By mistake. Please know I'm Commissioner Hardesty. I heard what you said, but I've heard from many people that voted yes that actually are asking me these types of questions. So I think it's good now that we're here to have this transparent dialogue. The supermajority put this on the ballot, and we really weren't that engaged in the process. We trusted their work. So now it is our responsibility to be transparent as we take each step in our role. Thank you.
Very good. Sorry. Continue your presentation, Shoshana. Sorry.
That's
Thank you,
okay.
Lindley.
I'll try and get you out of here quick. Okay, powers and duties, districting plan is the responsibility of the Independent District Commission. So the commission will prepare and adopt a districting plan, dividing the city into 4 geographic districts for the purpose of electing our city council. The plan will include a map and district and a description of the districts. The vote of at least 9 members of the commission is required to adopt the districting plan, and a majority vote of the commission is required for all actions. Prior to
Can I ask a question there?
Commissioner Mapps.
So does the redistricting plan or does the redistricting map come to council at some point, or is it just approved and implemented by the redistricting committee?
Thanks for that question. It is, I believe, I'm just checking my notes. I think it is delivered to the elections office.
Which office?
The auditor's elections office.
The auditor's elections office.
So I apologize for not having.
Here comes Lindley.
So Commissioner Mapps, directly from the charter, it identifies that if you have a plan that is adopted by the commission, no further action by council is required and the plan is final. If the commission has not adopted a plan after taking 2 votes, the most recent version of the plan voted on by the commission passes to council for its consideration and adoption. Does that answer your question?
I have another way of asking the question, perhaps. So,
go ahead.
So supermajority rules are again in place here? Is that what we're saying? So it's 9 supermajority, and if that passes, then once again, we're not involved?
Correct.
Is that what it's saying? Okay, but if it's less than supermajority, then we get to weigh in.
Yeah.
Just like it was when it went to
With
the
the
ballot.
Charter Commission.
Got it.
Here, let me ask a hypothetical. This is essentially a redistricting project. Redistricting maps gets challenged in courts all the time. Let's say someone decides to take the redistricting map that gets adopted by this committee to court. So who's getting sued there? Is it the auditor's office that is suing and defending the map? Is it the city of Portland, or?
I think you're getting to a level of detail that I'm not going to be able to answer today.
Okay.
It can certainly be part of the discussion when we bring this to your office to talk about it, and if other council offices are interested, we're glad to bring that information forward.
All right, great, thank you.
Commissioner Ryan, did you have another question? Nice. Very good. Shoshana, that, you can go ahead. Shoshana, you're muted. Shoshana, you're muted.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think that we'd have this all ironed out by now.
No, it would ruin the whole Zoom experience.
So prior to developing the districting plan, the commission will hold at least one public hearing to seek public comment on which plan criteria should be considered, in addition to the criteria set forth in the next section, which I'll discuss. The commission will hold at least two public hearings in each proposed district, not less than 1 month before the vote goes to before the commission votes to adopt the plan. The commission will make its plan available to the public for inspection and comment, not less than 1 month before the public hearings on each proposed district. Any questions there?
Any questions at this particular point? Very good. No, keep going.
I just want to make sure that you know that we're resourcing this commission with community engagement resources because of the heavy lift of community engagement around making sure that the public has notice of the proposed districts.
Can I ask a question there?
Commissioner Maps.
What does community engagement resources mean in this context?
We are going out with a RFP for both facilitation and community engagement resources. So that would be facilitation for public meetings, making sure that the community is engaged at public meetings in using any new and novel ways to engage the public that we've learned over the period of COVID, whether or not that's in-person meetings or electronic meetings. And we're open to any suggestions on how to make sure that the public is aware of what's being considered.
Thank you.
Anybody else at this juncture? Go ahead, Shoshana.
Okay, so continuing on with the powers and duties of the commission, the first commission needs to adopt its plan by September 1st of next year. The commission adopts its plan by September 1st in every year ending in 1. So we will do this at every 10 years so that the plans follow the census. If the commission has not adopted a plan after taking 2 votes, this is what Lindley just discussed with you. The most recent version of the plan is voted on by the commission and passed to the city council for its consideration and adoption. The plan is effective when the commission or the council files it with the elections officer. So district plan criteria, the commission or the city council, if the commission is unable to adopt the plan, will ensure that each district, as nearly practicable, will be contiguous, compact, utilize existing geographic or political boundaries, not divide communities of interest, and be connected by transportation links and must be of equal population. No district may be drawn for the purpose of favoring any political party, incumbent elected official, or other person. No district may be drawn for the purposes of diluting the voting strength of any language or ethnic minority group. In addition, the criteria may be considered consistent with state and federal law.
Could you define for us what common interest is? A community of common interest?
I'm going to pass this one to Lindley since it is a area that's been heavily litigated.
We'll save that for a later day. I know we're running late. Thank you.
We're absolutely able to, brief your office on it. It is an area that is, that has been litigated, both locally and nationally. Any other questions?
Not at this juncture, Shoshana. Commissioner Ryan does. Sorry, Shoshana.
My
Commissioner
only
Ryan.
feedback would be that we're not defining, when you go back to the other slide, back to that supermajority, I'm wondering why we don't have those numbers there. We all learned when this went to the ballot about supermajority, and it seems like we're under that same practice. And so I'm just concerned that we don't have that detail in here.
Okay, I apologize. I think it was on the previous slide that talked about their voting power.
Yeah, I think it should just be
line.
consistent in the document is my point.
Oh, of course. Thank
Because
you.
majority could be one vote over, but I think what we're talking about is not that, it's supermajority. If I was tracking you. Thanks.
I think that it's for the adoption of the plan that it needs to be a super majority of 9 members. But a majority vote is required for adopting the bylaws or other work of the adopting a community engagement plan, those other types of decisions.
I think you might be right. I just think it should probably be in writing that we say that.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
I have one more question, and then I promise I'll shut up for the rest of this item. Can we go back and can you show us the deadlines for you had a slide that showed the deadline for when maps have to be approved by. Would you remember what that date was?
Yes, very much so. It's September 1st of 2023.
Are you familiar with when the Census Bureau releases its redistricting data to states?
I think that we know from recent practice that it happens at various times based on the census's ability to meet their own deadlines.
Well, I think in 2021, they released the census data on September 30, 2021. And could you remind me again when the maps have to be done?
The commission must adopt a plan by September 1st in every year ending in 1. So the next time that they will do their, after this district process, which we will be using our previous census work, they will be adopting their next plan in 2031, September 1st of 2031.
Okay, I don't know if, in fact, I'm probably because of the pandemic, I do recall that maybe the census timelines got screwed up, but I believe right now we're asking for our maps to be done before the Census Bureau appears to release its demographic data. That seems like that could be a problem.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think we can look into that. I think we'll be fine for this districting process.
Yeah.
The previous, but absolutely, we should make sure that we're in alignment.
Great, thank you.
So I thank you so much for your attention today. We're very excited to launch this important commission. It is a huge milestone in moving the Portland voters work forward, and we're excited to get going on it.
Get the slides.
Shoshana, Commissioner Hardesty has a comment.
Thank you, Mayor. Shoshana, I just wanted to get a copy of the slideshow. And thank you for the good work and trying to lay out the voters' will and moving this initiative forward.
Thank you. Well, I'll be happy to send it to you after the council hearing.
Very good. Thank you, Shoshana. Is there public testimony on this item?
We had one person
Very good.
sign up. Ramsey Hatter in person.
Ramsey, are you here?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, very good. This is an emergency ordinance. Please call the roll.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
I want to thank Shoshana for the presentation today and for her good work and her team to ensure that these transitions are progressing smoothly. And the voters have spoken, and we need to continue our work moving this forward. And this ordinance represents our first official and important first step. I vote aye.
Ryan.
Thank you, Shoshana and Lindley, for the dialogue we had this morning. It's very important. I've heard from many people that voted yes that actually been asking these questions. So it's important that we really are methodical and clear as we go forward. I vote aye.
Hardesty.
I want to add my appreciation to Shoshana and to Lindley for being here today. I've also heard from a lot of voters who are concerned that the city will try to skate and not actually implement the voters' intent. So it is fabulous for us to continue to have this conversation out in public so that the public has the ability to weigh in every step of the way, right? Regardless of what our form of government is, if the public doesn't trust it, they still won't trust it. So I appreciate the good work and the transparency that we're using to move this work forward. Happy to vote aye.
Wheeler.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate what I said last week in a fairly extensive statement. I won't repeat that statement. It's available on the public record. But I just want to pledge again to the public, regardless of whether people support this or don't support this, I have pledged to implement this diligently, fairly, and transparently. And that is my objective going forward. And that is part of the reason why we wanted to pull this from the consent agenda and have this public discussion today. So thank you, colleagues, for bearing with us on this. I vote aye, and the ordinance is adopted. Next item, also on the consent agenda, item number 964.
Create the Charter Transition Advisory Committee to advise the city on implementation of the voter-approved charter amendments in Portland Measure 26-228.
Colleagues, I'm pulling this item back to my office for further review and discussion. I'd like to present this with fuller information, so without objection, I'll pull it back to my office. Last item, 966, please, on the consent agenda.
Authorized contract with Converge One, Inc. to provide Cisco network hardware, software, security support, and services in the amount of $11 million.
Colleagues, this ordinance authorizes a contract with Converge One to purchase mission-critical Cisco hardware and support products, including services that support the city's network, connectivity, and information security. This equipment and support services act as the backbone to the city's communication infrastructure, enabling basic access to internet and email, as well as vital radio traffic amongst public safety agencies and first responders. Beth Fox and Jessica Moss from the Bureau of Technology Services are here today to present the ordinance. Welcome, Beth and Jessica. Appreciate your being here.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you. Before you started, I appreciate, I was the one that pulled this off of consent.
Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you, Mayor. And I pulled it off because, I wanted to know more about Converge One, and if this isn't that company that we're in a contract with that we can't get out of. I just want to make sure that this is like different. Like we have a police contract around information retrieval that this is not that.
I don't think so. No, hi.
Hi, please introduce yourself and tell me what this is.
Is the green light on?
It is on. Can you hear me?
No, it doesn't seem like. Try again.
There we go.
Yeah,
How's
perfect.
that?
Thank you.
I'm Jessica. I'm with Jessica Moss with the Communications Department at BTS. And no, this is not that company. This is not about data retrieval. This is specifically about networking hardware and support services for that hardware. And then information security services that we purchase from Cisco. Data retrieval is a different type of information technology.
And so, thank you for that extremely brief information. But this is the $11 million contract, so I think there may be a bit more to just software.
Yeah, yes, we have a presentation, I believe, a PowerPoint. If we could get that started.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. My name is Beth Fox, and I'm a Technology Capital Project Manager with BTS, and I'll be talking a little bit about the particulars of the contract and the ordinance. I do have a slide in here. I'm hoping I can open a very small window into what these products do on the network, and maybe it'll explain it in a little bit more detail. And Jessica will be speaking about the contract, the Converge One VAR, our value-added reseller, as well as the specific technical products, that we have on the network. So if you could forward the slide, please. So we're here today seeking your approval on this 5-year agreement with Converge One. It's an $11 million contract, but it is funded through our 5-year capital improvement project planning process. There's also an immediate $2.1 million support savings with this contract. I do want to take a moment here, and I found a slight difference in the original ordinance that was submitted. I think we quoted a $1.2 million in savings that was submitted about 3 weeks ago, and we actually have a $2.1 million support savings with this contract. This is a price agreement to purchase Cisco hardware and software. Next slide, please. Most employees, I think, City of Portland employees log in. I know I do every morning, and I check my email first and my calendar. That is the first thing. I check to see if I have voicemails or if I need to call somebody back right away. Some of us attached to cloud-based services. We go over the internet to take a look at our applications in a different data center. And then, of course, many bureaus have several specific applications for their bureau that help them to do their work well. All of this different types of data traverses our network, but it hits multiple Cisco products along the way. More than just one stop. There's multiple stops with the flow of that traffic. We have a big public safety presence on our network. There's a lot of first responder applications that sit on this network and reach out to different agencies, including communication. The 800 megahertz radio system also uses Cisco gear in order to get some of that transmission to where it needs to go. This isn't just specific to City of Portland public safety or first responders. It's a multi-jurisdictional communication platform. It all has to hit and will hit multiple Cisco products as that data is passed back and forth along its pathway. Cisco also has a suite of information technology tools that we use to securely transmit or more safely improve the transmission of this various types of data wherever it may be going on its path. I'm going to turn it over to Jessica to talk about Converge One specifically.
Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you. Before you turn it over to Jessica, so let's use email as an example. We know that the Police Bureau is just starting to implement Office 365. So how does that work through the Cisco hardware and software network? Is that something we'll have to add later, or is that something that is already included in this $11 million contract?
Some of the upgrades that the Police Bureau will need to do over the period of 5 years has been included in some of the Cisco hardware. Cisco is switches and some of the hardware that actually help the data move between locations. I don't know, Jessica, if you have another comment on.
Yeah, so currently when you use email, what you're doing is you're sending a signal from your computer and it has to transit from place to place. What happens is that signal transmits to a Cisco device. It could be a wireless access point, which we have in this building, or it could be a Cisco switch, which we also have in this building. Once your signal from your computer hits that, it continues on down the chain. And so it's Cisco to Cisco to Cisco. And at the other end, you would get to an email server. So when you're doing an email changeover, like you might be doing with the police department or any one of the various bureaus, the network itself is a foundation. The email is an application, so it's running over that network. So you continue to do a change to the email. What we strive to do is be invisible, if you were, on the hops that you're taking. So you might be transitioning to a different type of email service. You shouldn't see any changes in the hops you're taking on the network. The network itself stays in place. The network transmission equipment still takes those signals from place to place.
So I guess the answer is yes. The new technology that's being added with Office 365
That's correct.
That's correct. And so I still think about having over 500 firefighters with no email access. And so, again, we have my mic. Sorry. Thank you. Keep forgetting that, man. It seems like I forgot that a couple of times today. So with the so what I'm trying to understand is how this benefits, and you say first responders is a great example. I have 500 firefighters with no email access, right? So how is this benefiting first responders across the board for this $11 million cost?
Well, currently fire stations are connected into the network via a Cisco device that sits at a fire station. It's different than an email application. Email is like a software that you might use on a computer. This is the actual physical signaling that takes place underneath that. And so currently the fire stations are connected on Cisco hardware, as are the Portland Police Bureau. There is a tract of life cycle. Those pieces of equipment do age, and at some point that life cycle gets replaced. And in this contract, that's what we're trying to do, is replace some of that aging equipment that is aging out at various locations across the city, fire stations, police precincts, parks. And this contract is a 5-year contract. So what we've done and tried to include in the totality of this contract value is make sure that we're looking at what needs to be replaced as it ages. And that includes those, like I said, the fire stations, but also potentially the radio network that it does the radio backhaul for first responders. There's some Cisco equipment in that network as well.
Thank you for that. Mayor, it's my hope that somebody takes a deeper look at this, because the amount of money we're paying to not have access to email and internet, and even though each fire station has access, it's not the same as each firefighter having access. And so it is a system-wide problem that was inherited and continues on. So I just hope somebody will look at how so-called first responder bureaus really get access to communication, because we have not figured it out yet as the city of Portland. Thank you.
We can definitely work with you on that. I know that there's a lot of different connectivity that first responders do have, but we will take a look at the email question that you've raised.
I'm taking a note, and we'll take that back to our leadership and make sure that someone reaches out to your office on that.
Probably better Chief Boone's office, since, I may not be around when you make that call.
Great.
Any other questions on this slide?
Colleagues, any questions on this slide? Nope, go ahead.
Next slide, and I will turn it back over to Jessica again for the next.
This slide just represents the amount of hardware that we currently have in the network and software licensing. Again, wireless access points are probably the most visible thing that you might see as you're walking through a city building. They're little white boxes that tend to be mounted on the ceiling or on a wall. Those are what pick up the signal from on your guest access. Those are Cisco products, as well as the wide area network hardware that we use to put those signals across town to various buildings and small shops. And then we also use Cisco support licensing for certain information security products. And what not very many people realize is that information security is a big piece of what we need to do here at the city. We need to secure the information to the best of our ability, and there's products that we purchase to do that, so people don't break in and get their hands on information that they shouldn't have. Does anyone have any questions about that?
I do. Can you give us kind of an intuitive example about what an information security license is?
Yes, well, I can do my best. So an information security license would be a license for a particular piece of software that supports you as a user. The closest example I can come up with is we use a web-based tool that identifies legitimate internet sites that you can go to, and also possibly internet sites that might be trying to get to you. It's a back and forth. So there's various suites of products that have to be used for information security, and we want to make sure that we don't have people hitting what could be sites that are operated by bad actors.
So is that 6,500 number, that's for, each one of those things does a different kind of security, or does it like, might I have one and the mayor have a couple of these just for?
It depends on the level of the network that you're speaking about, but yes, there are a lot of, that's a single license count for one product that we use with Cisco. There are other brands of information security licenses that we purchase from other vendors, but this is one brand of license, or this is one type of license that we purchase from Cisco. And again, it helps with the identifying bad sites.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Actually, I'm fascinated by these 6,500 information security licenses, and try to follow the explanation to Commissioner Maps. Let me try to do it another way. So if you think about fire as a great example, right? Firefighters, I suspect, because of both the medical reporting that they have to do as a medical first provider, and then the additional data that's collected just because, you know, they go out and put fires out. I suspect that they have different licenses for different reporting vehicles. Would that be an accurate statement?
They could potentially have a different set of information security requirements because of what they do. And that would require them to have different types of information security products. I can't speak to that, but we could find out what the information security requirements are for fire stations.
And I guess the last question would be around 911 is a regional call answering center. Fire provides regional firefighting support. How much of this is city specific, and how much of this cost is actually part of building a regional network?
The city's network is a Cisco-based network, so it's not just for first responders. The Cisco products reside in all bureaus across the city, and all employees that are accessing a city location or city network are crossing Cisco infrastructure when their data is trafficked through the network. So I mean to say that the whole city uses the Cisco products.
So, okay, why don't I put it this way? So what portion of the Cisco network is being used regionally as compared to just by the city?
That's a great question. There are partner agencies that cross traffic with us. An example would be Multnomah County. So Multnomah County is a customer of the city, and so some of their traffic crosses the Cisco network, and they are a rate-paying customer, as is
Metro.
Metro. I'm trying to think of them right now. We have quite a few. PSU. There's a number of clients that.
No, that helps me really think through. That's exactly what I was trying to get at. Thank you.
All right, next slide. We have one more. We have one more slide. If you guys are ready, we'll just jump right into it. So there's just a couple other benefits I wanted to make sure that I mentioned today. We are leveraging a national value point program with Cisco, so there are additional discounts we're able to get because we've done this. This 5-year contract also helps us with a few other things. I think we heard about supply chain issues, global supply chain issues. We're all suffering from them. This helps to create a few efficiencies in the purchase of some of this equipment. I mentioned the $2.1 million in savings. Because we're doing a 5-year contract, it's actually a 22% savings in the prepaid maintenance. We will pay for the maintenance up front, and it costs 22% less than if we did it year after year. And then finally, inflation is also hitting all of us. With this 5-year contract, we can lock in some of the costs it takes for the support of this network for the term of the contract. And that is the last slide of the presentation. Do you have any other questions about any of the content that we might be able to answer for you?
Thank you. Colleagues, any further?
Just a quick one. I'm delighted to hear that this ordinance will save money. And you mentioned in your presentation the estimates of how much we'd save went from 1.2 million to 2 million or something. What's the difference? Was that just a Scribner's error in the original report, or did something in the world change?
Well, we submitted the original paperwork, I think, about 3 weeks ago, but we continued to work with the provider and actually identified some additional savings. So by the time we got here today, we could come in wagging our flag of savings just in a matter of 3 weeks. So
That's
we're pleased
great.
with that, yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any public testimony on this item?
No one signed up.
Very good. This is an emergency ordinance. Please call the roll.
Maps,
Aye.
Rubio,
Aye.
Ryan,
Thank you, Jessica and Beth. It's wonderful to hear about $1 million savings. I vote aye.
Hardesty,
$2.1 million saving, get it right.
No, it's 2.1. Yeah, we extended for a longer term, negotiated, and we're able to save, yeah.
You're going to miss me. In so many ways. Thank you so much for your presentation, and thank you for your enthusiasm. Who knew somebody would come to council this late in the morning and be all giddy about talking about data and data retrieval and management? I'm very happy to vote aye.
Wheeler,
I'll tell you who's not happy to talk about data management and retrieval this morning. Anyway, thank you. This is great work. I'm not referring to this. This is great work. I'm referring to a different global firestorm that apparently I helped create. But at any rate, I want to thank you for your leadership on this. This is complicated stuff. Technology platforms are always perilous when we're implementing new ones. You've done thorough research on this, and I applaud it, and I second my colleagues' desire to be cost-effective in terms of how we manage our limited resources. And this, to me, looks like a win-win-win. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. I vote aye. The ordinance is adopted.
Awesome.
That completes our business for this morning. I want to thank all of our professional staff, as well as the folks upstairs at Open Signal and our closed captioners for sticking with us a little longer than we usually do. We usually go with a break, but we figured we could finish this relatively quickly, and we did. So thank you all for your patience. We're adjourned till 2 p.m.